Okay, chapter 7, immune system. So these are the learning objectives that we are going to look at. So by the end of the chapter, okay, you should be able to classify the 3-line defense of human. So the slide is not changing. Okay, so classify the 3 lines of defense in human. So there are 3 lines of defense that we are going to look at. And then describe the 3 external barriers. Okay, external barriers. Ini external barriers are the first line actually. Okay, first line of defense. Okay, and then after the first line, then is the internal defense. Okay, internal defense. Internal defense is the second line actually. Okay, third line, second line, and then if the pathogen manages to penetrate or breach the internal defense, then the pathogen will have to encounter the third line defense. Okay, so these are the 3-line defense of the body. Okay, external, kulit contohnya kan. So that is the external, one of the example of external barriers. And then internal barriers, you have, for example, phagocytes, okay, white blood cells that are able to, when it encounters the pathogen, it engulfs and destroy that pathogen. So tapi kalau manage to breach the second line defense, it will encounter the third line defense that will attack the virus more specifically. Okay, so kalau second line defense ada four different types. Okay, 4 different types of internal defense. The third line defense, this one, it involves the lymphocyte. Okay, the lymphocytes. Okay, the B cell and also the T cell. The B cell is the cell that actually produces antibody. Okay, antibody that circulate in your body fluid. So then next, describe the events that occurs during humoral immune response and cell-mediated immune response. Humoral immune response and cell-mediated immune response. Okay, satu dan dua ni. Okay, is the component of the third line defense. Okay, component of the third line defense. For humoral immune response, it involves the B cell. Okay, for the cell-mediated immune response, it involves the T cell. Okay, to be specific, it involves the cytotoxic T cell. Okay, cytotoxic T cell. So these humoral immune response and cell-mediated immune response will attack specific pathogen. Okay, will attack specific pathogen. So discuss immunodeficiency in human. Okay, discuss immunodeficiencies in human. For example, there is a condition where the body produces inefficient specific white blood cells that causes your body would not be protected against pathogen. Okay, that is immunodeficiency. And then there's another condition, we call it as the autoimmune disease. Okay, autoimmune disease where your body cells, your immune cells attack your own body cells. Okay, that is autoimmune disease. Your antibody attacks, for example, specific tissues in your cell. Okay, so that is autoimmune disease. Macam kalau kita tengok hari tu dalam soalan workbook pasal multiple sclerosis kan. So multiple sclerosis is a type of autoimmune disease where your immune cells attack the myelin sheath surrounding the nervous system. So this disrupt in the transmission of impulse. Okay. So then lastly, discuss the prevention of certain infectious diseases. Okay. So introduction, immune system, internal defense system protect the body against foreign molecule by producing immune response. The slide is not changing, just wait. Okay, that is internal defense. Okay, internal defense system protect the body against foreign molecule producing immune response. So foreign substance, even pollen, for example, okay, substance that can cause allergic reaction can also trigger the immune system. Okay, so let alone lah kalau pathogen. Okay, so pathogen are disease causing organisms. So this can be from bacteria, fungus, virus, protozoa, okay, and also worms. Protozoa macam contohnya certain paramecium that enters into the body, or amoeba that enters into the body. Okay, so that can be that can cause some problem. And then some and then must have the ability to distinguish self and non-self by unique proteins on the surface of the cell. Every cell dekat permukaan dia akan ada certain molecule, okay, molecule such as protein or carbohydrate that serves as we call it as an antigen. Okay, antigen. Okay, every cells. Okay, every cell, including your own body cells. Pathogen pun ada pathogen. All cells will have certain specific molecules that serve as antigen, and this antigen is detected by your immune cell. Okay, so if the antigen is from foreign substance that enters into your body, okay, foreign, so this is considered as non-self. Okay, so it means that your immune cell will attack only non-self antigen. Your immune cell, I repeat, your immune cell only wants or supposed to attack non-self antigen. Okay, non-self antigen. Your body are supposed not to attack self antigen. Okay, self antigen are antigen of your body, of the host. Okay, of the host of your body. So your immune cell are not supposed to attack self antigen. If your immune cell attack your self antigen, okay, self antigen, so this will lead to that disease, which is, we call it as the autoimmune disease. Okay, So your immune cells supposed to differentiate, okay, which one is the self antigen, which one is the non-self antigen. Non-self are foreign. Okay, self is from the host. Okay, host cell. So respond to signals from injured tissues, such as protein release when cells membrane are damaged. Okay, response to signal from injured tissues. So for example, for this one, we are going to look at inflammatory response. Okay, response. You have a cut, for example, can, so this cut area, the cut area will be exposed to all the pollutant outside, or the virus outside of the body that are found in the environment. So there will be some mechanism to protect from infection from the wound. Okay, which is, we call it as the inflammatory response that we are going to look at later. Okay, so 3 lines of defense. Okay, 3 lines of defense. Okay, so types of defense, you have the first line defense, second line defense, and also the third line defense. So the first line defense is the barrier defense. Okay, barrier defense prevent pathogen from gaining entrance to the body, such as the presence of your skin. Okay, skin, the sweat. Okay, the sweat that the skin produces also function as the first line defense. The tears, okay, that the eyes produce also function as the first line defense. Okay, or any secretion from your body. Okay, secretion from the outside of the body function as the first line defense. So the virus or the pathogen has to encounter the first line defense before it enters into your body. So if the pathogen manages to breach the first line defense, it will encounter the second line defense or the internal defense. Internal defense tu nanti kita akan tengok ada 4 jenis lah. So there are 4. types of internal defense. So it says here, internal defense is non-specific resistance that destroy invaders in a generalized way. So what does it mean by non-specific? Okay, you have 10 different virus that enters into your body. Okay, 10 different virus that enters into your body. So your body will have many white blood cells. Okay, one of the white blood cells function as the phagocytes. Okay, phagocyte that able to engulf that pathogen. So whenever a pathogen, whenever a phagocytes encounters any pathogen, so it will engulf. So that is what it meant by non-specific. Dia jumpa phagocyte tu jumpa, dia engulf and destroys. Jumpa, engulf and destroys, for example. So that is what it meant by non-specific. Tak specific. Jumpa je virus A, dia engulf. Jumpa virus B, dia engulf juga. Jumpa virus C, dia engulf juga. Contohnya, okay? So that is non-specific. So that destroys invaders in a generalized way, engulfing and destroying the virus, okay, or the pathogen. And then the third line defense, okay. So if second line defense does not work to protect the body against that specific virus, so that virus will encounter the third line defense, which is adaptive immunity. So it is more specific, okay, specific immune response to antigen. So you have certain specific virus, okay, certain specific virus. On the surface of the virus will have antigen lah tadi kan, antigen. So there will be specific, okay, specific white blood cells that will have receptor, okay, that will have receptor that will bind with this antigen of that specific pathogen. Okay, so this is the lymphocyte. Okay, lymphocyte. Okay, so the lymphocyte that have receptors specifically bind to the specific antigen on the pathogen will trigger the activation of this lymphocyte to multiply. Okay, multiply to form clones and activate either the humoral immune response or the cell-mediated immune response involving B cells and also the T cell. T cell ada dua jenis. Kita ada helper T cell. Kita ada cytotoxic. Okay, cytotoxic T cell. Okay, cytotoxic T cell. Okay, so these are the cells that involve in the third line defense. The B cell, once it is activated, the function of the B cell is to produce antibody. Okay, so this antibody will circulate in your body fluid. Okay, the body fluid consists of what? The antibody can be found in obviously in your blood, okay, in the lymph, and also in the interstitial fluid. Okay, so B cells produces antibody that circulate in your body fluid, interstitial fluid, lymph, and also blood. So this is the humoral immune response. Okay, so the function of the humoral immune response is to attack any pathogen that are found in your body fluid, that are found extracellular. Okay, extracellular. But the T cell that involved in the cell-mediated immune response, it attacks your body cells that is infected with that specific pathogen. Okay, so basically the function of the cytotoxic T cell is to destroy the host cell that is infected by the specific pathogen. So later we are going to look at the mechanism. Okay, so pathogen invade tissues. Okay, pathogen invade tissues, and then you have two conditions here, which is rapid, and then the other one requires several hours to several days. Okay. Okay, so when pathogen, okay, tries to enter into your body, it will encounter, okay, it will encounter the innate immune response. Okay, the innate immune response. The innate immune response, you have that the first line defense, and then you have the second line defense. Kenapa dia punya respon dia cakap kat sini rapid? Rapid. Sebab apa? Skin awak memang dah ada dah kat situ. Tak perlu nak generate new skin kan. Your skin is already there to protect from the entrance of any pathogen. Okay, so that's why it is called as rapid. Mata awak termasuk dengan habuk. Contohnya, you automatically produce tears to remove from any possibility of debris entering into your eyes, for example. Okay, so that's why mechanism dia tulis kat situ rapid. Okay, kalau sama juga untuk second line defense, dalam badan awak ni dah memang ada contohnya neutrophil or any phagocytes that are ready to engulf any pathogen that it encounters. Okay, so that's why it says here rapid. So innate merangkumi first line defense, external barrier. Okay, ingat kat sini. External barrier, dia boleh banyak istilah kat situ. Okay. And then second line defense ataupun istilah lain dia internal defense. So these are the different terms that you can use. First line defense sama juga dengan external barrier. Second line defense sama juga dengan internal defense. Okay, saya tunggu sekejap dia nak appear dalam punya slide ni. Dia tak appear lagi. Okay, so that is the innate immunity. Ingat innate immunity first and second line defense, exterior and also internal defense. Okay, kalau yang warna orange tu pula, so dia dah appear dah kat situ. Dia belum? Tak appear lagi. Betul dia nak appear. Okay, so adaptive immunity. Kita tengok yang orange pula Kita tengok yang orange pula, dia tak appear. Maybe saya punya wifi dekat laptop saya ni dia lambat. Okay, so adaptive immune response yang warna orange tu is more specific. Tulis kat situ, specific. It is more specific. Because it is more specific, it requires time for this adaptive immune response to be activated. Okay, it requires time. So, specific pathogen masuk, akan ada macrophage engulf, and then dia akan hancurkan, and then the virus become into fragments. Okay, so this fragment will be detected by another lymphocyte that has specific receptor, and then it has to bind, and then it has to the lymphocyte has to multiply. So it takes time. Okay, so that's why it says here for adaptive immunity it requires several hours to several days, okay, to be activated. That is adaptive immune response, ataupun kalau istilah tadi adalah adaptive acquired, if I'm not mistaken, acquired. Atau acquired tak ada. Boleh acquired pun ada digunakan. Tapi in this case, we just stick to adaptive immune response. Okay. So if you look at the orange, still adaptive immune response, dia terbahagi kepada dua tadilah, cell-mediated immune response, okay, and also antibody-mediated immune response. Antibody, kita boleh slashkan dia sebab ada dalam slide tadi kan? Ada slide tadi. Ada dalam ni, objektif ni. Humoral immune response. Okay? Humoral immune response. Kita boleh slash kan antibody mediated immune response ni dengan humoral immune response. Okay, kenapa ada dua istilah ni? Antibody mediated immune response adalah daripada buku rujukan yang awak ada tu, which is buku rujukan apa buku rujukan korang yang you all beli sekarang ni? Saya lupa nama dia. Do you have your reference book? What is the reference book that you used?
Campbell.
Okay, kalau Campbell dia guna humoral immune response. Okay, The other reference book, it uses antibody-mediated immune response, but both is referring to the same mechanism that involve the B cell. Okay, the B cells producing antibody. Alright, kalau cell-mediated immune response apa je? Okay, so adaptive immune, that is adaptive immune response. It is more specific. Innate, it is non-specific. Okay, non-specific. So, kalau kita tengok kat sini, yang the first ni, okay, first ni adalah first line defense. Okay, first line defense of the innate immunity. Kalau pattern recognition receptor, cytokine, NK, dendritic cell, phagocytes ni dia boleh overlap. Phagocyte by the macrophage dia boleh overlap antara innate dengan juga adaptive. Dia boleh overlap. Okay, dia fungsi dia related. Okay, so yang ini is the second line defense ataupun internal defense. Okay, so kalau first line defense or external defense, okay, so it involves barriers. Okay, barriers, for example, the epithelial lining, the digestive and also respiratory systems. Okay, so you are breathing, so your the respiratory system starting from the nasal cavity, trachea and all that, and then if you are eating, your digestive system will have linings. So all these linings will have mechanism to protect from pathogen going deep into your body. Okay, and then microbial, peptide and other components. So dia dekat sini dah macam tunjuk overlap jugalah kan. Okay, so because this one here, antimicrobial, peptides and other components. Okay, so and then so this kita tengok dia punya whole explanation. NK, dendritic cells, cytokines and complement system. So ini kita akan tengok explanation dia a bit more later. Okay, so we are just going to go through the overview of the immunity of animal. So slide dia, just tunggu dia tukar sekejap. Okay, so innate immunity. Okay, innate immunity, non-specific. Okay, non-specific in all animals. So recognitions of traits shared by broad range of pathogen using a small set of receptor and the response is rapid. Okay, so asalkan ada virus masuk, then this will be protected by the innate immunity. Okay, the response is rapid. So it is divided into barrier defense or the first line defense, which involve the skin, mucus, membrane and also secretion. Secretion in for example, tears. Okay, the tears, sweats, even saliva that contains lysozyme. Okay, you are eating your food and then your saliva will contain lysozyme that also will destroy any microbes that contaminate the food that you eat, for example. Okay, and then internal defense. Internal defense ada 4. Okay, there are 4 types. Phagocytic cells are white blood cells that can engulf. Okay, engulf pathogen. Okay, any pathogen that it encounters. Natural killer cells. Natural killer cells, it destroys infected body cell, exposing the pathogen to macrophage. Okay, to macrophage, and then macrophage will engulf the exposed pathogen. Pathogen boleh masuk dalam cell host, kan? So the cell of the host that is infected will be destroyed by the natural killer cell. Natural killer cell dia tak kill directly the virus. Okay, it kill infected body cell, exposing the pathogen. Okay. So and then antimicrobial proteins. Ini kita akan tengok explanation